See, there's no awareness happening. You just live in this solitude. By then, I don't even know how many days, weeks, or months they've spent there. And you don't draw any conclusions from it? But where is your humanity? Where is your supposed depth? How can that be? Yes, we were so close. I did everything for you, everything I could, right? And nurses often have this kind of self-sacrifice, a willingness to serve. Yes, and she always had this idea of some mission entrusted to her from above, that I have to give myself to these people and do good deeds, to be this sister of mercy, so to speak. And at the same time, it's as if there's this elevation of her as a person, that she's so great, such an actress, such a noble woman of noble blood and royal lineage. And who am I? A caregiver, a servant, some kind of nurse, just some very average medical staff. How could I ever compare to her, to this star? I'm not even worth her little finger. And then there's this gradual absorption, seemingly through care, love, and attention, which grows into imitation, imitation that starts to cross and push against boundaries. That happens, by the way, with friends. There's some envy, anger, resentment, and inner grievances. You have to meet my expectations. You really should, yes, all these endless ideas of how things should be. You should give me as much attention as I give you. Now it's like we're one family. You and I, we're already the same. We've already merged into one. And this is about a lot of things, about imitation, about crossing boundaries, and about some complex, conflicting emotions that the person who imitates you, or when you imitate someone, experiences. And since these 2 weeks are dedicated mainly to this kind of envy, comparing ourselves to others, these complex, difficult emotions that we have to face in this society, paradoxically, when you look at this person, you feel not only anger, resentment, and envy, but also, by the way, some kind of admiration. After all, you like something about them. If you didn't like the person, you probably wouldn't want to be like them or want the same things as them, right? So it's always a mix of very interesting, contradictory feelings. It's both love and hate. And by the way, I've noticed this in myself too. At first, for example, I might like a certain girl or woman, and I even think, oh, I would love to be friends with her. And then suddenly a series of events happens, and that friendship starts to seem impossible to you. You start to feel like you might not be accepted, you might be rejected, and you wonder, how could that be? But I'm already grown up, a popular blogger. Am I really going to write about myself? And she's just as young. She's only about 20 years old. She'll just tell me, yeah, go to hell. How am I supposed to handle this? Yeah, go to hell. How do I get through it? Well, no. And gradually I start to feel this anger building up toward this girl. And that's when those very paradoxical emotions come up, the ones that seem to make you focus even more on this person, right? That's how it is, my dears. Why is it reflected so vividly? And since the film also raises and touches on the important topic of self-identification, of getting to know yourself, who am I without these masks and social roles? If I take off, I'm a mother. If I take off, I'm a wife, I'm an actress, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter. I take all of that off. So who is left then, right? And what remains is, as you remember, we studied Jungian archetypes not so long ago. Ourself, that very deep inner observer, that very sort of core of our personality, the core even of our psyche, not just our personality, but the core of our psyche. It's something very deep, very deep. It's like our deep, deep self sits at the bottom of a well, probably. Again, that's probably where intuition resides. But again, we do all of this very intuitively, kind of blindly by feel. And for us, no matter how much we study it, to this day it remains a big mystery. And what am I? Am I the ego? No, I am not the ego. So the ego is more about social roles, about my achievements, about my desires. No, the soul, yes, the soul, yes, the soul. And where is the voice of this soul? How can you tell if it's the voice of the soul, the voice of anxiety, or your inner critic? How do you recognize, how do you identify these voices? What is the true voice? And the more noise and chaos there is, the harder it seems to track and rank them, to see which voice will lead me where. Listen to your heart, that's what it is now. What is my heart saying, or my vagina, my clitoris, which is calling me to have passionate sex with my neighbor? How do I recognize certain impulses and what? And is respect about the heart, or is respect for your man no longer about the heart? And what is habit about? Yes. And many, many, many of these extremely important and at the same time everyday questions are raised in this film. In general, Ingmar Bergman is a genius, by the way. He really loved our Tarkovsky, and Tarkovsky spoke highly of Bergman. They actually sent each other affectionate compliments. Well, I would say yes. I wouldn't even compare them. I won't compare them. Tarkovsky is wonderful in his own way, Bergman in his own way. I won't compare them. Let me remind you of the moment I missed. Remember this.